Give me the medicine and they're going to fight the bad guys and they're going to make them go away. I may get sick from the medicine. I'm going to lose my hair. Then I'm going to be all better and everything will be fine.
Tammy, they say that breast cancer changes you from the inside out. What happened to you? How did it change you?
At first, it was such a difficult time because I was going through a divorce. And when I would look at myself in the mirror, here I am. I have no hair. I have scars all over my body. And I just thought, God, I'm so ugly. And who's going to love me? And how am I ever going to meet somebody? And then I thought, you know what? I'm alive. I have 2 great kids. I'm just going to go on. And I actually just started saying, you know what, I'm going to just make the best of it and be positive and happy.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Sometimes you just put one foot in front of the other, and before you know it, you've walked across the room, right?
Right.
Yeah. What about your kids? How did they do after that conversation that you had with them? And if you could take another mom who's listening to this conversation this morning by the hand, what advice would you give her if she's just gotten a diagnosis and has young children like you did?
To not keep it a secret from them. They know that something's wrong. They can sense something's wrong. And when you're hiding it from them, it makes them more afraid than knowing actually what's going on. My kids were fantastic. The 3-year-old didn't really understand the whole concept. The 6-year-old, when I first told him, he cried, but I don't think he really understood what cancer was. But I went out and I bought a lot of books that were geared towards them. One was written by 2 little girls whose mom had cancer, and tried to keep it at their level. And they would tell me, you know, Mommy, I still think you're pretty even if you don't have hair. And
out of the mouths of babes, right? I'm sure your journal played an important role in your life at that point. It was probably a place where you could just put all your fears and all your thoughts and feelings, right?
Every time I have a thought or I think about something, it's actually very therapeutic for me to write things down, either if I'm stressed about something or happy about something. I guess one of the worst days that I can remember was my first chemotherapy. After like the 5th day, I would just feel really bad. It's not even a feeling you can explain. It's just a heavy feeling like you have the flu, but you don't even want to lift your head off the pillow. I'm not the type of person that likes to ask for help, so I have a very hard time doing that, which is something I've gotten much better at since my diagnosis. So I was having one of my really bad days, and I was actually home alone with the kids, and, you know, they need to eat, so I had to get up and I fed them breakfast, and I got up and I fed them lunch. But other than that, I was just laying on the couch, and then I just got to the point where I just felt so bad that I just burst into tears. And I felt terrible because they're looking at me like, you know, what's wrong? And, you know, my son Christian said, Mommy, what's wrong? And I said, you know what? I just feel so bad and I can't make it better. And I'm sorry if I make you sad. Crying's a big stress reliever for me.
And humor is too sometimes. Yeah. For those of you just joining us, good morning. You're listening to Magic 106.7's award-winning program, Exceptional Women. My name is Candy O'Terry. In the spotlight is Tammy Goudreau, who was diagnosed with breast cancer at only 33 and is here today looking absolutely wonderful with a full head of hair. Is there anything you remember in particular about the boys and how they adjusted to how you looked and, of course, to your recovery as you got a little stronger?
It's something that Christian did on Mother's Day. At his school, they had a breakfast for all the moms, and we all went in and they sang songs and they served us breakfast. And then at the end, all of the kids were giving out big paper dolls, and they were folded over with the words inside the clothing. But all of the dolls had flowing yarn hair all over them, and I was thinking, oh no. When I go home at night, that wig comes off, and I'm in a bandana all the time. So I look over to Christian, and I whisper, you know, quietly, Christian, did you give me hair? And he looked at me, and he said, no, Mom, I gave you a bandana. So he pulled the card out, and it was this big paper doll with pink and purple clothes with a red bandana with polka dots, and I just wanted to burst into tears right there because it was just the sweetest thing that, you know, he thought of me that way. Inside the card, he wrote, my mom is great, and she's a good cook, and my mom is beautiful, and it just made me so happy that he could see past the scars and think of me as his mom and not be embarrassed that, you know, I didn't wear my wig.
So 2 years have passed since your diagnosis. Mm-hmm. So give us an update. It seems as if you've got yourself together. You're a successful woman. You're a single mom whose children are nurtured and loved every day. So give us a health report on how you're doing 2 years later.
I've been given a clean bill of health so far. I'm considered in remission. I feel great. I still have, regular doctor's appointments. They're keeping a really close eye on me. If something's not right, we're really keeping a close eye on it to make sure that everything goes well. I have a new boyfriend. Things are going really well with him. He actually lives with me and my boys now, and they love him. It's great. I'm so happy, and I've learned so much from this experience. I'm a much happier person. I try to focus more on my family and not so much on worrying if the laundry's done or, the house is clean. I want to take advantage of every day and live it to the fullest.
A couple weeks ago, as part of this series, in the spotlight, we had a fabulous singer whose name is Beth Nielsen Chapman, and she's also a breast cancer survivor. And I asked her if she saw the world differently, and she said greens are greener and reds are much more vibrant. What do you think about that?
I think she's right. It makes you step back and take a look at your life and just appreciate things so much more. Way back when, if I would come home from work and, I need to make dinner, we need to do homework. If my son would say, can we sit down and play a game of cards? Oh, no, I can't do that. I have to do this or I have to do that. Now I try to be more like, what, that can wait. And let's just focus on spending time together and having fun together.
When you were going through your treatment, including your surgery and your chemotherapy, was there anybody, a wise or strong woman, who'd already been down this road who helped you or mentored you, took you by the hand?
In the beginning, I spoke with 2 women who had had the same type of surgery that I had, and they were really helpful in helping me make the decision on what I was going to do for reconstruction. But other than that, my friends and family were always there for me. I actually did take advantage of the American Cancer Society's Look Good, Feel Better program, which was great. It was a room full of women, and we all were in the same boat, and they gave us big boxes full of makeup, and they did wig tips and scarf tips and showed us how to apply makeup to look like you had eyebrows and eyelashes. And you came away from there feeling good, and they basically sent the message that if you look good, you're going to feel better about yourself, and when you come across as feeling better, other people are going to feel better around you. I noticed when I was first diagnosed that some people would avoid me, probably because they didn't know what to say or how to handle the situation. So I tried to be positive and make people think, yeah, okay, I'm sick, but you know what? I'm still me.
That leads me to a question about how people treated you. If you could say one thing to somebody who's listening to this program this morning about how to be a friend to someone who has breast cancer or any life-threatening illness, what would that advice be? What did you need?
I just needed people to be there and to treat me like me. Don't treat me like I'm a patient or, someone that's ill. When you're feeling bad, there's not really anything physically that people can do to make you feel better. But emotionally, you need people there to just be themselves.
Tammy before cancer, Tammy after cancer. What's the big difference for you right now?
Before cancer, I think I took a lot of crap. I think I would just let things go and wouldn't always speak my mind. And
you're stronger?
I'm definitely stronger. I'm wiser. I'm happier, amazingly enough. I think I make better decisions. I'm not afraid to speak up about things now because you know what? You might not be here tomorrow to say what you want to say.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your story on our show. And I want to close by asking you one of my favorite couple questions, okay? What is mother love?
Mother love is unconditional. I have a story that I read to my children called I'll Love You Forever. And it talks about a little boy and he's growing up and, he's doing bad things like he's throwing his mother's watch in the toilet or he's, saying swears and becoming a teenager and he doesn't want to be home. He wants to be out with his friends. But every night when the little boy goes to bed, his mom goes in his room and rocks him to sleep and she says, I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as you're living, my baby, you'll be. And that's what motherhood is. And as the mother gets older, it shows her, her son's a grown man and she's still rocking him to sleep. But at the end of the story, she's old and she's ill and she can't do it any longer. But her son goes to her and he rocks her to sleep and tells her that he'll love her forever and like her for always.
Is that how you love your boys?
It's absolutely.
When you were in your darkest hour, were you ever worried that you wouldn't make it? And how did you get through that?
I think I felt that way for about an hour. Right when I was diagnosed, the first thought that ran through my head was, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I'm not in a good situation right now. What's going to happen to my kids? And what happens if I get this treatment and I'm too sick to work and I lose my house? And, all these thoughts are going through my head, like, what's going to happen to them? That was my biggest fear, not myself, but, what are they going to have? Then I got mad and I said, you know what? I am not going to die. I don't think so. And then I just accepted it. Okay, I have this cancer. I'm going to treat it. I'm going to be fine and we're going to move on. And when I first saw my family after